Creative industries have emerged as one of the leading sectors in the economy.
Starting up a small recording studio in my dad's garage is all it took.
My story was more like experimenting with variety of flavors, baking cupcakes, brownies, donuts.
Breakthroughs are usually when you find a new way to do something.
Oh well, me and my sister set up a fashion label because we just couldn't find what we wanted in shops.
Breaking rules and great stories start with how you dare to do things differently.
So, how do you start and sustain a business?
All these and more as Africa's Global Bank, UBA, presents Mind Your Own Business, a radio program designed to initialize, educate, and motivate young entrepreneurs emerging as strong players in the local and global economy. Stay tuned for Mind Your Own Business, proudly brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank.
This is Mind Your Own Business, brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank.
Good morning. Welcome to Mind Your Own Business, brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank. Thank you so much for listening today. Of course, we bring you the stories of Nigeria's entrepreneurs and tell you about the opportunity they are exploring and the challenges they are facing. And today our guest is Pamela Bello-Olatunji. She's the CEO of Bnatural Spa Group, and she'll be talking us through her story. Thank you so much, Pamela, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Okay, so Pamela, let's start by getting some perspective on how you got into this. So it's pretty unique. It's not everyone that runs a spa in this country. So tell us how you got into this.
Okay, it's a very long story, really. I find out that what we have is where people sometimes they see your story, but they don't really know your history. First of all, my background is in broadcast journalism, so I have done that. But even while I was still working in radio and television, I always did the beauty thing on the side. I remember sometime in Enugu, I will go to my aunt's salon and I work there from morning till 6:30, and then I will put the African blouse, my mother's lace blouse, on top of my jeans, and then go to read the 7 o'clock news. That's how it was but I always knew that this was what I wanted to do.
You always knew you wanted to create a spa?
Yes, I wanted to go into the beauty business, not necessarily the spa.
Right.
Now you can say people are talking about spa and medical spa and other aspects of the industry. But 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. I would not be thinking I wanted to open a spa. No, I'll be thinking I wanted to open a salon. I wanted to open a nail salon at most, but not a spa. So when I decided to do this, I knew that the best way to do it would be to study it. If you wanted to be the best at everything, education is key. Passion is important, but not enough. Knowledge and passion is what equals success.
Makes all the difference.
Yeah, makes all the difference. So, and that was when I went to school. I went to the beauty school. When I finished in beauty school, just before I finished and I started, I realized that there is more to the industry than what I knew. So the scientists in the US had found a laser that was suitable for people with my Fitzpatrick skin scale, which is the laser that would work for people with dark skin, with where we are on the Fitzpatrick scale for skin. So at that point... It
sounds very technical, but
yes.
At the end of the day, I imagine it's all about beauty.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Right.
So at that time, I also knew that, okay, if I had to do this, I needed a certain level of training in medicine, that my beauty school education was no longer good enough for me to be able to extend what I had to do. So, and to do that is either I went straight and studied medicine, and I had children, or so I went and I studied nursing. And then just so that I can do this, but I've never really practiced as a nurse, I studied nursing, and then I studied aesthetic dermatology nursing, so that I would be able to do all this, generally be the best, to be able to have access to the knowledge and information that I would use to grow my business.
I mean, earlier you mentioned the fact that to be good at what you do, you need to study. And it's interesting the sacrifices you've had to make. So you had to study as a nurse, then you went on to specialize and understand what you want to do.
Yeah.
So obviously it took a while for you to get to where you are. So give us a sense of what you're doing now so we know the payoff. What has happened?
A lot has happened. A lot has happened in the 10 years that Bnatural has been in operation. In that 10 years, we have 3 locations and an outreach also in Washington, D.C. We are able to offer all the services that can be found in any world-class spa around the world. An area of skincare, hair care, nail care, and all anti-aging treatments that is offered anywhere. We do the laser hair removal, we do Botox, we do dermal fillers, we do the threads. We have been able to finally find a protocol that can work for all the problems of stretch marks that I don't know if I should be telling you our secret, but really a lot of the women
it sounds too technical. I don't think I can steal it.
A lot of the secret of women, the secret of our beauty.
I hear you.
A lot of the beautiful women you see on the streets, the damage that stretch marks has done to the body is unbelievable because this is the side effect of the products and creams, the lightening creams that they've used over the years.
Right.
So we are happy that we are able to find a protocol that really works.
And it's great to see that you've turned it into a business. We'll explore that a lot more after the break. But before we get into that break, we want to give you the opportunity, Pamela, as we always do, to our guests to make a music selection. So what would you like?
It's not just because Celine Dion is mourning her husband now, but really, I love Celine Dion. My children will kill me. They laugh at me. I'm too old school, but I really love Celine Dion.
All right. Well, I'm sure there are quite a few to pick from.
Yes.
I'll bring that to you as we go into this break. And when we come back from this break, we continue our conversation with Pamela Bello-Olatunji, the CEO of Bnatural Spa Group. We're back in a moment.
Coming up on Mind Your Own Business.
If you are investing at this level, the low level, your market is the low level.
Right.
If you invest mid-market, you get mid-market.
So you need to invest
return.
big to get big returns.
You need to invest big to get big returns. Yes,
Right.
Unfortunately.
Welcome back to Mind Your Own Business, brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank. We are speaking to Pamela Bello-Olatunji. She's the CEO of Bnatural Spa Group. She's taking us through her story, very unique story. Not everyone that is building a spa in Nigeria these days. Pamela, thank you so much for staying with us. So let us hear more about this industry. It's pretty unique, like I mentioned, and in fact, you are quite specialized. You're not just any spa. You provide medical spa services. And for those who maybe be thinking about a business, help us appreciate what this is about and the opportunity out there.
Okay. As a business, you will never go wrong in this industry. Don't forget, it's known as there's empirical evidence that in periods of great economic depression, that the beauty business is always the last one to go down, and that when things get better, the beauty business is the first one up. Because when you don't have a job, you need to look good to look for a job.
Right.
And when you do find the job, you need to look good to keep the job. But I really still don't know why. But I guess I don't think this is the only reason why the economics of beauty business is that.
So you are not feeling any recession, slowdown per se?
We feel the recession, but definitely not as much as every other person in the business. That is the truth. You will feel the recession, but if you are grounded in what you do and really, really good in what you do, you will feel the recession, but not enough to close down. You will stay in business. You might not be able to have the margins you had before, or be able to do a lot of expansion projects as you would love to do, but you will always be in business.
All right.
And that said, for anybody can actually do this business.
All right. So what are the steps we need to take if we are considering this area?
If you woke up this morning and you decided, each time I went to my salon or went to the spa, where I go to get the massage or get my facials done or stuff, and I look at them and I think, hell, this is a good business. Maybe I should do this. If you wake up every day feeling that way, it is a beginning. What I will suggest,
an interest, a strong passion.
The interests need to be there. When the interest is there, then approach someone who already probably in the business, or someone. There are spa consultants around the world now. And these are all the opportunities available to this industry in Nigeria. You can become a spa consultant. That means you can be helping other people open their own spas. Like we, for instance, a couple of years ago, we bought a beauty school franchise from the US, the Spectrum Beauty Academy. And right now we are training owners and training managers. So there are spa managers in training, there are owners in training, and there are beauty therapists in training. First, you must learn the industry.
Yeah.
First of all, study it, dream it, eat it, do everything with it, get the knowledge. And every spa does not need to become a medical spa. The same way, every hair salon, every beauty salon does not need to call itself a spa to become prosperous.
Yeah.
Those are all the things we need to understand, that at whatever level you are operating, be the best at it. There are different levels in the industry, and there's room to accommodate everybody. If you think that you want to open a beauty business, first of all, get a knowledgeable person who already is in the business already to speak with you. I am always ready to speak with people. I let them know the mistakes I made in the beginning, which first of all will include buying a lot of useless equipment that you don't need. I will teach you what exactly you need. I will help you through your choice of products, the products that you can use that will be able to industry recognized products, so that your customers will get results, and that way they keep coming back. Those are the two important things. And we also guide you through employing staff.
Right. But this sounds like a relatively capital intensive business. Am I right to say that?
Yes. Unfortunately, it's very capital intensive in the sense.
But is there a small scale segment that one can play in, if you like? If we're looking at the spa space, is there something we can do?
Yes, there is. But I will let you know. I don't know if it's like that in a lot of other businesses, but this business is one that what you get is basically dependent on what you put.
Yeah.
If you are investing at this level, the low level, your market is the low level.
Right.
If you invest mid-market, you get mid-market.
So you need to invest big to get big returns.
You need to invest big to get big returns. Yes,
Right.
Unfortunately. That's one of the areas. And unfortunately also, I do not think Nigerian banks understand that this is actually a multi-billion industry. I don't know if there are people who Nigerian banks have borrowed money that have become successful in this industry. I don't know.
You make a very interesting point, because this is an area where a lot of banks are looking at, okay, where should we be putting money? Where should we be backing SMEs? And you're saying here that this is potentially a multi-billion dollar industry in this country.
Yes. Even in this country, you'll be shocked how much, But the thing is, I know there are a lot of other small, medium scale industries that can employ a lot of people at the same time. This is one of those also. So if we are looking at a way really to have mass employment opportunities for people. There are so many different ways that this industry can help. Bring them together as a cooperative. Train them together as a cooperative with each specializing in different things. Get the banks to fund them, fund them so it's like 20 people come together, they own this business. This one, all that, and then they can pay. There's so many ways that the banks can help them also at that level, and a small level, medium level, and then high level. There are, but sometimes really I wonder if the banks are really in the business to help small businesses in Nigeria.
Well, you're speaking and calling out the banks. We will obviously hear more from them, I'm sure. But as we go into another break now, Pamela, I'll give you another opportunity to make another music selection. It's time. What would you like?
I like Duro by Techno.
All right. Okay, Nigerian selection this time. And we'll bring that
You're
to
like,
you.
where's that coming from, right? I just discovered it during Christmas and I danced and I didn't get enough.
Keep listening to Mind Your Own Business. We're back in a moment.
Coming up on Mind Your Own Business.
There are various other aspects to this business that every young person, and old, by the way, because there are braiders, you can be braided sitting down.
Yeah. Alhaji, Takino, yo, na, say the love I dey see for your eyes, oh, yo, I love you, baby, I don't think I'm twice, your beauty making me to realize, baby, say never, don't bring it light, say you must marry me, you go love me.
Listening to Mind Your Own Business, brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank.
Welcome back to Mind Your Own Business, brought to you by UBA, Africa's Global Bank. We're speaking to Pamela Bello-Olatunji, the CEO of Bnatural Spa Group. And Pamela, as we begin to wind this down, let's talk a bit about some of the challenges that you've had to face. You talked about it being a capital-intensive business. Just maybe from your story, what are the type of challenges that you've faced as an entrepreneur?
Well, every entrepreneur definitely will tell you that funding is always an issue. If you find out that what you could do in 6 months, you could have done it in 1 day, and then the other 6 months, if you had funding, rather than waiting for you to earn it and accumulate it, you could have been funded right away, and then in 6 months you would have been making returns. So yes, funding is an issue, and because also power is the biggest issue that we have, which you find out it takes a big chunk of your capital to be able to provide power for the business and to constantly have funding to power the power, because that is a limit. But the most one that a lot of people will identify is staffing for the industry.
Yeah.
Staffing for the industry at the level we operate is expensive, is non-existent, and is challenging.
Right.
So again, when I hear them say there are no jobs in Nigeria, I am one of those who said there are jobs, there are just no takers. Because really, for what the industry pays, people should be struggling to get into the business.
Yeah.
Even those who are not owners, even others, you leave the university. What stops you from going to a beauty school, learn one aspect of it, and actually get the kind of education that can lead to immediate employment?
Right.
You can be very, very employed and earning so much while you're waiting for that oil company job. Doesn't even pay as much as far as I'm concerned. But the thing is that people think that...
I think a lot of people like your business and like to work in it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's a business that I would want more Nigerians to get into. I will want more men and women, young and old. Tell me the other, apart from hospitals or restaurants, where you can have 4 or 5 generations of the same family patronizing that same industry at the same time. By the time my son is buying a car, my mother will not still be buying a car. She's done driving. But my mom is still going to salons today, and I'm going, and my daughter is going.
All right.
And we are all, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
And that's how it is.
All right. So you've really touched on the business of beauty, and if you can briefly just, dwell on that, your thoughts about that opportunity in Nigeria, because like you mentioned, many people are looking at traditional jobs, the banks, and stuff like that. But you're talking about beauty as an opportunity. Your thoughts about that, beyond even what you're doing in the spa?
Yes, beyond what we do. I think our life now is at the point where I think every Nigerian graduate needs to be skilled in something.
Right.
Look at the enormous and amazing job that Tara has done with makeup artistry. Look at that, for a young woman who left university and decided, I think I want to do this. She has built a multi-billion industry for the entire country. All the young girls who have gone, studied this, and are doing this every weekend, they're occupied. That is an amazing industry. And so also there are various other aspects to this business that every young person, and old, by the way, because there are braiders, you can be braiding sitting down. There are so much that we can do if only government gives the young people the support they need. Really, in this case of an emergency in trying to find employment for young people, training them in skills is one area. And as soon as you've trained them, someone comes out of the university, and then tomorrow they are skilled in something and they are working while they are waiting.
All right. Okay, we need to begin to round this up. As we do so, we want you to just leave a few words of advice, tips for entrepreneurs or people who are looking to establish a business like yours. What do you say to them?
I say don't give up. Do not let the difficulties with startups in Nigeria deter you. Since you have decided that this is a direction you want to go, I think you should stay on the beat. While you're waiting for the real money to come to be able to do it, go to school. Study more. Use the internet. You read up on everything and ask questions from those of us who are already in it. And I promise you, there is no entrepreneur who sees one that will not be prepared to help.
Wow, it's very, very interesting conversation with you. Thank you so much for coming in today, Pamela Bello-Olatunji, CEO of Bnatural Spa Group, giving us her perspective on the business of beauty. Of course, the spa seems to be a big business opportunity, something for many of you to think about. That's where we leave it on our show today. Thank you very much for listening to Mind Your Own Business. We'll be back next week with another program. Good morning.
For inquiries on Mind Your Own Business, please contact UBA Customer Fulfillment Center by calling these numbers 01-280-8822, 01-631-9822, and 0700-2255-822, Facebook.com/UBA Group, Twitter.com/UBA Group, live chat www.ubagroup.com, and you can also email cfc@ubagroup.com. Today's business tips on Mind Your Own Business from Pamela Bello-Olatunji of Bnatural Spa. Make sure to get an education, be skilled, be determined, and have a can-do spirit. Mind Your Own Business is brought to you by UBA, Africa's global bank. Creative industries have emerged as one of the leading sectors in the economy.
Starting up a small recording studio in my dad's garage is all it took.
My story was more like experimenting with variety of flavors, baking cupcakes, brownies, donuts.
Breakthroughs are usually when you find a new way to do something.
Oh well, me and my sister set up a fashion label because we just couldn't find what we wanted in shops.
Breaking rules and great stories start with how you dare to do things differently.
So, How do you start and sustain a business?
All these and more as Africa's Global Bank, UBA, presents Mind Your Own Business, a radio program designed to initialize, educate, and motivate young entrepreneurs emerging as strong players in the local and global economy. Stay tuned for Mind Your Own Business, proudly brought to you by UBA, Africa.